Hey everyone, I'm Lauren McMillan, and today we're doing a brief sequence to go over Warrior One. This is part of our Yoga Foundation series where we take certain poses, ones that you might commonly come across in a yoga class, or maybe ones that you're curious about trying, but when you're in a studio setting, you may not have the opportunity to stop, ask questions, and really get down to the basics of that pose. So let's get started. We'll begin on our hands and knees, stacking shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees, ground down through all 10 knuckles, all 10 finger pads, and just start by wiggling the hips around, moving them from side to side. As you come back to center, soften into the elbows, drop the belly to the floor, lift the heart, lift the hips for cow pose. Exhale, round the spine, drop your chin toward your chest for cat. Again, inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. One more time, inhale into cow pose. Exhale to cat, and then make your way back to a neutral spine. Tuck your left toes under, reach your heel toward the back of the mat. As you inhale, hinge forward onto the toes. Exhale, press the heel back. You can press your hands down into the floor to deepen this stretch, starting to open up the calf, down into the ankle, and just move with your breath here. So with every inhale, you come forward. Every exhale, you press it back. The next time you come forward, lower the left knee down beside the right, tuck your right toes under, reach the right heel back. Inhale forward. Exhale, press it back. The next time you hinge forward, lower the right knee down and step the left foot between the hands, coming into a low lunge. You can step your knee back behind you an inch or so as you drop the hips down and lift through the heart. From here, tuck the back toes under and lift the knee. Front knee is stacked over the ankle. Back heel is reaching behind you. Heart is reaching forward. Lower the right knee down. Maybe it touches, but it doesn't have to. And then straighten the leg, press the heel away. Do that again. Lower it down and lift. 2 more times. You may be feeling this in the right hip flexor. And lift. Now lower the right knee down. You can keep the toes tucked or you can release them. Hug the inner thighs together, lift through the torso, draw the core in so that you're lengthening the lower back. Reach the right arm up, come forward in the hips just a smidge, and then reach your right arm over to the left. Release, lower the right hand down, send the hips back. Bring the left knee beside the right and switch sides. So right foot comes forward. Start by lowering the hips down. Reach your heart forward. And then tuck the back toes under, lift the knee. Check your alignment in the front leg, so front knee over ankle. Toes are facing forward. Heart is reaching one direction, heel is reaching in the other. Lower the left knee down and lift. Lower and lift. You can always place something underneath the hands here if the floor is too far away. One more time. And lift, lower the knee down, hug the inner thighs together, let them pull you up. And then take your hands to your hips, core is drawing in. Press the front heel down, drag the heel back, reach the left arm up as the hips lower a little, reach to the right. And then release, lower the left hand down beside the right and step the right knee back to meet the left. Tuck all 10 toes under, lift your knees, lift your hips, come into downward dog. Pedal out through the feet here, bending to one knee and then the other.
Bring both feet to stillness. If the hamstrings are tight, please keep a slight bend in the knees. As you inhale, sweep the right leg up, bend your knee, start to open your hip. Trying to keep the shoulders level. Start to straighten the leg, lower the right foot down, sweep the left leg up, bend the knee, open the hip. Straighten the leg, release, lower the left foot down. Inhale to lift the heels high, bend into the knees, look forward, and then walk to the front of your mat, finding a forward fold. Knees are super bent here. As you inhale, lift up halfway, find a long spine, catch your hips with your hands, and then press all the way up to stand. From here, right foot is forward, step the left foot back into a high lunge. So this is not warrior one, but it's a good way to set up for it, or to at least get used to the feeling of the actions that are happening in your body. Front toes are facing forward. Front knee is in line with the toes, so make sure that it's not collapsing in, but keep it sort of pressing toward the outer edge of your foot. Bring your hands to your hips. Think of manually drawing the right hip back and pressing the left hip forward. So you're trying to square the hips here. And then if it's comfortable and if it's okay in the shoulders, take the arms up. If you get lightheaded with the arms overhead, lower them down to your heart or even return them to the hips. From here, we're coming into warrior one. So you're going to adjust your stance, especially the back foot. Flatten the foot down, toes are turned out at about 45 degrees. Now, often you may see some people come into warrior one with the legs in line with each other, so it kind of looks like they're on a tightrope. But for today, we're going to take a wider stance, so it's more like you're on train tracks. This will give more room for the hips, and it'll make it easier to get that action of squaring the hips. So, step your feet toward the outer edges of your mat. Left toes are turned out at about 45 degrees, right toes are facing forward. Hands are on the hips. If the hips are feeling really tight, just shorten your stance to a place where you can feel like you can hold it for a few breaths or more. As you bend into the right knee, make sure that your right knee doesn't go past the ankle here, but rather keep it right in line over the ankle or a little bit behind it. The left leg is relatively straight. Try not to lock out in the knee. And think of pressing down through the outer edge of the foot. Sometimes the foot will want to collapse inward, and then you're putting all this weight on the front leg. By pressing down through the outer edge of the foot, you're supporting the arch under the foot, and you're also evening out the weight a little bit more from the front leg. Press down through both feet. Core is drawing in. Again, take your hands to your hips. Think of drawing the right hip back as the left hip comes forward. Continue to press down through the outer edge of the foot. Let the ribs drop down. Sometimes they'll want to splay out here, so keep them drawing in. This will also help protect the lower back. And then you can keep your hands on your hips. You can bring them to the heart, or maybe take them all the way up. Breathe into this pose, grounding down through the feet and the lower body, letting the upper body be light, reaching the sides of the waist out of the hips. And then release your hands down, shift your weight forward, step up, shake it out, and we'll go to the other side. So let's start by coming into a lunge, stepping left foot forward, right foot back. Again, the difference here being that in your lunge, your back heel is lifted high, hips are able to square forward a little more easily. Bend into the front knee. Think of hugging the inner thighs toward one another. This will help draw everything to center, helping you integrate your muscles, really find strength and buoyancy in the pose. And then draw your core in. Grow long through the crown of the head. As you're ready, go ahead and drop the foot down, lowering the heel. Again, toes are turned out at about 45 degrees. Adjust your stance as you need to. So maybe wiggle the front foot to the left a little bit, or you can step your right foot out to the right. Bend into the front knee, checking the alignment of the knee. Press down through the outer edge of the right foot, lifting through the right arch. With your hands on your hips, draw the left hip back, press the right hip forward. Core is drawing in, ribs are dropping down. If you'd like, take the arms up. If it feels okay on the neck, lift your gaze, not collapsing into the back of the neck, but thinking of reaching your eyes toward the sky, so you're creating length. Let's take one more breath here. As you exhale, lower your hands down to your hips, shift your weight into the front leg, step up, and shake it out. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Hope you enjoyed this Warrior One sequence. Namaste.